But that's not it, right? You can't just be a tough and tender leader yourself. I led with two big ideas. Second big idea, I can amplify value by growing others as leaders. I mentioned earlier that I became a better leader myself, but that's not where we stopped. That's not where I Love This Place culture came from. Where I Love This Place culture came from, I told you I read 360 Degree Leader and I wanted to share it with my students. And so we had leadership days where we would read the book together after school and we would talk about it. And what I learned there was that 360 Degree Leader was written for adults, right? I spent a lot of time translating. What I needed was a tool that I could work with my students to grow them as leaders. And what I found was called Habitudes. Habitudes is now called I Lead. It's part of our Maxwell Leadership offering for schools. But what we did, what Tim Elmore did, who you'll hear from later, and what John and our team has done is distill these massive leadership ideas down into understandable, bite-sized chunks for kindergartners all the way through 12th graders. And what we did at Hillgrove High School where I taught was every Tuesday, we didn't make music. We learned about leadership. We called them Habit Tuesdays at the time. And we'd have leadership conversations with every student in the program. I was influencing 300 plus leaders every day with our team, having leadership conversations, learning about what was going on. And we grew leaders. Second semester, we would do the same thing after school. It was voluntary beyond that. I wanted to know who was willing to give a little bit more to become a better leader. And we would have over 100 students show up after school to have these leadership lessons. And so what was I doing? I was sharing my leadership learnings and what I wanted in terms of our culture of our program with as many people as possible so they could go share that with other people. And it became magical. Let me tell you why. I'm going to nerd out a little bit. I'm a musician, and one really important word in musicianship is called resonance. That is a picture of me conducting the Hillgrove Orchestra at Carnegie Hall, hair flip, right? Toss, toss. But what we were trying to do in all of that was create resonance. Resonance is the sound of something being deep, full, and reverberating, or something that evokes a response. And so everything we did was to try and generate sounds that were deep, full, reverberating, and worked together. So it might be helpful, the metaphor I'm about to give you has to do with sound, acoustics, right? And so it's called superposition and interference. Don't worry too much about it. But superposition is when two sound waves interact with each other. As you see on your screen, I've given you two sound waves, right? Interference is how they interact. And so if you have two sound waves that are interacting, as you see there, where their peaks and valleys are opposite one another, you have what's called destructive interference. The result of destructive interference when the peaks and valleys collide is cancellation. You see, the net result of that is zero. If you have noise canceling headphones and you turn on the noise canceling feature, what those headphones are doing is creating a sound that is exactly the opposite of the sounds on the outside to cancel out noise. You see the metaphor. If I think that leadership should go this way and the people I'm leading think leadership should be the opposite of that, what do we get? Nothing. We get cancellation. Net zero. We get frustration is what we end up with. Let's move on. Constructive interference is when you have two sound waves that stay next to each other. They're in alignment. Their peaks and valleys are the same. This is what we try to do in our music class every day. How can we get them to align their frequencies of their instruments? What happens there is amplification. Two people or multiple sounds working together becomes bigger, bolder, better than anything that they could do by themselves. And so what I'm arguing for here is becoming a better leader and training other leaders, as many as you can, using whatever tool works for you. I Lead and Habitudes worked for me. When you do that, you send out ripples, just like sound waves, of influence into the community, into your people, into all of the classrooms and boardrooms and break rooms at your place, to where people share your vision, they share your passion in their own way. You're empowering them to lead under the umbrella of how you think they should lead within the values, attitudes, and expected behaviors of your school. When we did this, we saw massive growth. I said earlier, this program shrunk by 85%. My last year teaching back in 2022, 139 freshmen joined the band that year. It was the biggest class we ever had, and it had a lot to do with the reputation that we had laid down of people saying to themselves, I love this place and I want to be a part of it too. Our recruiting improved, our retention improved, all because I became a better leader and I intentionally shared that vision with others and empowered them to do the same. So I want to close with a story. Let me introduce you to Brenna. Brenna is one of the most amazing human beings I've ever met. She also plays the oboe about as well as anybody I've ever met. She's currently a junior at the University of Georgia and, to be frank, interning with us at Growing Leaders because I was like, you got to keep coming back, Brenna, you're the best. When she was a sophomore or a junior in high school, she came to me with an idea. She said, have you ever heard of United Sound? And I had heard of it. It's a special needs, not ministry, but way of teaching special needs students to make music with their peers in school. And she said, I want to make this happen at Hillgrove. And I was like, sounds like a lot of work, Brenna. I don't know that I have the bandwidth for anything else. And I kid you not, she said, I don't need your help. I need your permission. If you'll just say go, we'll make it happen. I've got a team ready to go. I've got the teachers ready to go. All we need to do is walk down the hallway to talk to the special needs students, figure out what instrument they want to play. We're going to rehearse on Fridays, and we've already got a plan for walking them out to the car. Could you maybe be there to supervise? Otherwise, I just need you to stay out of the way, Mr. Irwin. And I went, yeah, you can do that. So here's some pictures. So these are peers working with peers, making music happen through adaptive methods, through changing the notes and rhythms to make sure that they could do whatever that they could. There were honks and squawks and squeaks and laughter, and everybody grew. So Brenna came to me and she said, I want United Sound to play on our concert at the end of the year. And I said, yeah, of course we're going to do that. She said, can they wear like sparkly outfits so they stand out? Our students wear all black. That's what you do, professional all black, right? She said, I want them to dress like they're going to prom. Great, let's do that, Brenna. And then she said, can I conduct? Do you mind if I just take the reins? And I'm thinking to myself, this kid's going to steal my job. But the result was, in front of hundreds of people in an amphitheater, students making music with other students on this beautiful piece called You Got a Friend in Me. I made a video, of course. This is what I want to share with you. Here we go. I'm not crying. It's just dusty in here. It was a beautiful thing that happened. And when I tell you that that sent ripples out into our community, more people wanted to be a part of it. It changed our school. The Friends Club started, where students just got together with students with special needs to hang out. Our cheerleading squad started Crimson Pride, our special needs cheerleading squad. All because one student came to me and said, I don't need your help. I need your permission. She basically said, Mr. Irwin, you taught me all these leadership things. Would you please just let me use them? And what I learned there, this is my last point, amplification occurs when people feel free to lead. Remember what I told you earlier. You add value by growing yourself. You amplify that value by growing others because of what we did together, because I decided to get better and I said, I want you to get better too. Let's learn leadership together. And here's the tool by which we're going to do it. We amplified people's influence. I went first, but I wasn't the best. My students were the best. The people that you lead will blow your mind if you give them the freedom to lead underneath the umbrella of the vision and the methods and the attitudes and the behaviors that you have for your school culture. Most people don't do this because they don't have a tool. Gina's going to mention, I think, about a tool that we're going to have, but we have a tool called I Lead in Habitudes here at Growing Leaders that we would love to share with you. You can find it at growingleaders.com. But the reason why people will say, I love this place at your school is because you became better and you helped them become better too. Thank you for tuning in. Again, the book comes out March 17th. I would love for you to read it. It's full of stories and a whole bunch of fun. I appreciate you listening today. Gina, back to you.